Thank you for calling Geico. Your call may be recorded for quality purposes.
I haven't really been vlogging much over the past couple of weeks. Been taking a little bit of a break, spending a lot of time with family, doing some work on the Element, working on a few other things as well. I did make this short movie though about my grandpa's steak tips.
We started going to football games in the 80s. And he used to do it before that down in Carter's on the West Island. So I'm going back probably the early 80s, late 70s that we were doing this meat. I used to buy what they call McCormick's meat marinade. Bought it for 30 years, and all of a sudden now, can't find it. This is bourbon, brown sugar. It's a little different. Squeezing out the excess, otherwise it'll drip in there and knock the coals down. The salt is a mixture of every kind of salt you can think of. That's on the market, you know, that's a seasoning, celery, no, every salt that you see all mixed together. This batch here is about, I would say, 15 years old.
Okay, I know that was pretty random, but I've been really wanting to make a movie about my grandpa's steak tips, so I did. It was an excuse to use the new camera in like a documentary style setting and to test out a few different things, and also they are really, really good. So in my opinion, they're deserving of a short movie, and now I'm not going to forget how to make them, so that's a good thing. In terms of updates that I've done to the Element, I basically went to town on cleaning it, like I said. The exterior, didn't spend as much time on it as I thought I was going to. To make the paint look like new, it's going to take a lot of effort and kind of over my head a little bit, and I'm okay with how it looks. Like, it looks better, it's just, it's not looking like it's a brand new Honda Element or anything like that. But the interior though, I definitely put some effort into that. I had like paint brushes, like I was like down like in the crevices, like getting all the dirt out of like all these little places, and then using a vacuum, and spent like 5 hours on it on like the hottest day of the year. So that was not the best decision, but it does look a lot better. I was also able to address that rust issue that I was having on the roof, painted over that, sanded it down, looks a lot better, and I worked on the headlights as well. I know a lot of you guys noticed, especially the driver's side headlight was like super foggy and yellow and looked terrible. They look a little bit better now. They're not perfect or anything like that. I used the Rust-Oleum Wipe New product, and it was really cheap and really easy, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it definitely is an improvement over what I had before. As nice as it's been spending time with family over the past few weeks, I am itching to get back on the road. There's a couple of things that are kind of preventing me from doing that though. I know I mentioned in one of the last videos, basically talked about it the whole video, the issues that I was having with my South Dakota residency. It's been 3 weeks now, guys, and I still have no idea where my registration is. I've made so many phone calls to South Dakota DMVs and mail forwarding services and everyone in between, and no one can really seem to find it. So I'm gonna make a few more phone calls today and then hopefully figure out where it is. If I don't, I'm gonna have to request a duplicate registration and then get that in the mail, which who knows how long that's gonna take. But as soon as I have that, I'm gonna feel comfortable getting on the road. You guys have no idea how many times I've gone in and out of this door trying to get this shot, but I just keep messing it up. But anyways, the second issue that I've been having was with my insurance. I know that I mentioned that in the previous video here, and I say was because I did take care of it last night and this morning, but it has definitely been a little bit of a headache. Geico sent me this letter a little over a month ago stating that they were going to drop my coverage based on not providing a valid address and a valid residence. So my address looks like a regular address, right? It looks like 123 Main Street, number 123. It doesn't appear as a PMB, even though technically it is one. And the reason that that they're having problems with that is probably because they looked at the building with their satellite imagery or their database or whatever they have, and it's showing it as a small building, and they're like, that's not an apartment building. So they're just basically trying to figure out where the vehicle is garaged every night. But that's a problem for me because I'm a nomad, right? And I don't really spend one night in the same place ever. For the most part, I'm constantly moving around, and a lot of the time across the country, 3,000 miles each way, multiple times in the same year. So that has definitely been an issue. And yesterday I got on the phone with Geico and I spent a long time trying to get in touch with them. Expiring policy?
You'd like your account status, right?
Representative.
You can say, a quote on a new policy, service on an existing policy. Stay on the line and we'll be with you shortly. Make paying your insurance bill easy.
Eventually I talked to someone, right? And then I ended up talking to another person, and they transferred me to another person, and then the third person that I talked to says, oh, you need to talk to this other person, and she's not in right now. She'll be in the morning. Can you try calling back then? And at that point, I just didn't really want to deal with it. They were saying they were going to need all this paperwork from me. I was going to have to send stuff in, and instead I just switched to a different provider. I went online, I was able to do it really quickly, and instead of dealing with this headache with Geico, I decided to go with someone else. And I'm pretty sure that this is the easier solution, at least for now. I guess I have a little bit of remorse. I was with Geico for a long time and never really had any issues with them, but I guess it's time to make the change. Like this was too much of a process for me to deal with. It was a lot easier to just go online and go with a different insurance provider. I went with Progressive, for those of you who are wondering. I did watch a lot of videos before making that phone call. There was one on Bob Wells' channel which was really excellent, where he's like interviewing an insurance agent who is now a nomad on the road. So that was really helpful. I did look into that, but it was just it was a lot easier for me instead of having to call back a bunch of different times and freak out about this policy expiring, which partially it's my fault. Like, I procrastinated for a while. It does expire in a couple of days, but that time limit was getting down to the wire, and they're having me call back the next day and having me do all this stuff, and it was just, like I said, it was definitely an easier solution to just go with someone else. So that's what I did. So the game plan moving forward is primarily to try to figure out where the heck my registration is. Hopefully I'll be able to sort that out within the next day or two, and then get back on the road as soon as I can. Maybe it's a little crazy that I'm kind of waiting it out at this point, hopefully trying to get a registration that's valid, but at the same time I think it's probably the safest option to have an actual registration in the case that I do have an issue with a police officer or anything like that. I definitely want to be prepared and to be doing the right thing. So hopefully I can get that sorted out before I get back on the road. That would be ideal. My plan is to head west towards Detroit. I'm going to be shooting a wedding over there. I was hired to shoot a wedding, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm probably going to go like slowly out that way though, maybe go up through Maine and New Hampshire again, and then maybe through Canada as well while I make my way over there over a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to be coming back east after that, spending some more time on the East Coast until like the middle part of the fall. I have a couple of really good friends that are getting married in New York, so I want to be here for that. And then after that, I'm going to make my way like all the way west to the West Coast. I know I've talked about this in previous videos, but that is the plan. So that's pretty much it. This video was kind of just meant to be like an update, let you guys know where I'm at, what I've been up to. Really, things have not been super interesting in my life, so I haven't been vlogging as much, but I will be returning to a regular vlog schedule as soon as things get more interesting. But hanging out with my parents, my grandparents, my family, I mean, that's a lot of fun for me, but I guess probably a little bit less fun for you guys. So thanks for watching though, and before ending the vlog, I do have a couple of new Patreon pledges to thank. Brian Gilchrist, G.H. Murray, and Walter Miller. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon team. I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Oh. You gonna eat it?
Yeah, that's how I have to eat it. Fuck.
Oh, there it goes again.
That's ridiculous.